Today we're going to talk about streamers on the mono rig. Eventually we'll do a full Troutbitten video series detailing the style. But for today, let's talk about why you'd fish streamers on a mono rig in the first place. What are the advantages? Then we'll talk about the rig itself. The mono rig is a long enough leader that the fly line is going to stay on the reel. It's also a leader that's built for turnover. It's built to cast like a fly line. I'm casting and I'm not really lobbing. That's a big deal to me because with that turnover, with the power in the leader, I get more accuracy and I have more options, more presentation options available to me. So quickly, the advantage you get when you're tight lining on this contact rig, on this mono rig, all the same stuff that you get, all the advantages you have when you're tight line nymphing, now they carry over to a streamer. Namely, you have control over depth, angle, drop, and speed. At any moment, all the way through the drift because you're in touch. Let's say on a standard fly line and standard leader rig, often it's the fly line that dictates what you're really able to do with the streamer. The streamer follows the leader and then the fly line. In this case, the streamer is going to be following what we do with our rod tip because we are tight. We're in a tight line contact system. So at any moment I can ride shallow and I can ride deep. The depth that I ride is very much independent of the speed. And that's an important concept. A lot of times if I'm on a standard rig, if I want to ride shallow, I have to strip pretty fast. In this case, I can ride shallow water, but ride slow. I can do the opposite, of course, too. So with this rig, with the mono rig, depth is independent of speed, and I'm in control, in touch all the time. I could come through pocket water and just sort of dance it around rocks, slowing it down, dropping it. Let's talk about drop. The drop, what I mean by drop rate, I'm very much in control of that too. Because I'm casting, I can tuck it in and force it down into the water. Force it down, make it get down quicker with the tuck cast. Also at any time through the drift, because I'm in touch, I can take some tension off the line and allow the fly to drop. All of this because I'm in contact, without the fly line on the water and in between me and the fly. I'm also, this is a big deal, I'm very much in touch the whole way through. I'm in control of the angle of the head. I think a lot about the streamer head angle. And on this mono rig, I can change that angle at any time. Wherever the rod tip goes, that's where the head of the streamer is gonna go. So depth, angle, drop, and speed are things I'm in control of all the way through. It's a significant advantage on the mono rig. I'll say this too, it's not the system you're gonna use all the time. For me, I use it about 90% of the time when I'm fishing streamers because I love all this control. 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, very comfortable. You can do it effortlessly. There's a lot of finesse in the way that we're casting these rigs. 50 feet's pushing it, but if I'm up on a boat, 50, even beyond 50 feet sometimes. But there's a limit to everything. I find that most of my fishing happens at 20, 30, 40 feet. No problem. So fish along with me and we'll go through exactly the composition of the mono rig. So what is the mono rig? You know, there's a lot of good contact tight line systems out there. And you can do this with so many different rigs. But I'll show you how I like to set up mine. There are three main elements that make any tight line rig work. It's the butt section, the long butt section, in this case taking the place of the fly line. It's the sighter, and then the tippet section. Today, what I have here is the OPST laser line. It's green. We're using this so you can see it a little bit better, hopefully, on the video. My favorite butt section is Maxima Chameleon 20 pound. This 30 pound laser line, they're both 0.017 inches. Now here's the point. This, as you've seen in some of the footage already, this butt section performs like a fly line if I treat it that way. I can cast it very much like a fly line. You'd see, even if you took the weight of that streamer off there, you could make fly line style loops up in the air. So with this butt section, I can, if I treat it like a fly line and keep speed in the cast and crisp stops, you can use it a lot. You can use that performance. This butt section is not 6 pound monofilament. 6 pound would just kind of collapse. It would just kind of, you could get it out there, but you'd lose a lot of accuracy. Things get floppy when you start doing that. So the butt section is, and today it's 30 feet. I mean, when I'm only tight line nymphing, sometimes I will have it a little bit shorter. Basically, it's long enough so that the fly line stays on my reel. I don't like to have part fly line and part butt section. The next thing in the leader is this transition piece. This is 0.012 Maxima Chameleon, and that is 10 pound Chameleon. It's just a short transition piece to build up a little taper. The next really important thing in this rig is the sighter. Now, you'll notice this is not the bicolor stuff that you'll find in fly shops. That stuff's great. When I'm tight line nymphing, I'll use it sometimes, but this is my standard leader, or my standard sighter, and I've been using this for a very long time. This is, again, built for turnover, built for power. I build my mono rigs for turnover so that I have that fly line style casting and that ultimate positioning of not just where the fly goes, but where the tippet goes, because that's where the fly is going to go next. It's always been a big thing to me, is having a sighter that is really stiff enough to turn things over and have a lot of control. This is 12 pound Amnesia and 10 pound Gold Strand. They're actually almost the same diameter. They're 0.011. Again, it's a little thicker and stiffer than most sighters. So you definitely want the sighter in there. All the stuff you saw, the sighter tells us everything about what the fly is doing under there. It tells us how deep it is, how fast we're leading it. Of course, it shows strikes. It shows you all the angles. So we definitely want the sighter in there. The last thing, of course, is the tippet. Today I just have, this is 2X fluoro. You could use 0X, 1X, 2X, 3X. I wouldn't use 4X. I wouldn't use 4X because it starts to get kind of floppy again. I like stiffness built all the way through the leader. So 2X today. Now, I suppose we're all thinking about what fly, but the fly is the least important part. A lot of times if they're going to hit a streamer, they're going to hit it, but it matters. Now, you're going to need some weight to cast. I mean, anytime we're fishing streamers, no matter what system you're on, you got to get the streamer down. There's weight in this fly. But the point to make about the flies really is that you can fish any size streamer you want. So this could be a small streamer or a big streamer. It's the weight that you're casting. It's the weight of the streamer actually takes the line out there, pulls the line out. And at the same time, as I've been talking about, also the butt section is pushing the streamer to the target. So you're casting it, and it's also being pulled. All right, so you need weight in the system there. It doesn't have to be a lot of weight. Even small streamers are gonna cast just fine on this, and you can do it at long distances, as you've seen. I'll fish articulated flies up to 4.5 inches. If that's what you want to throw it on a mono rig. You can do it easily. Quickly, we'll talk about the rod. This is a 9'9" 4-weight, and I really like 4-weights. I've been fishing 4-weights for a long time because they're so versatile. I wouldn't want to do this on a 2-weight. I wouldn't want to do it on an 11-foot rod. You can, if that's what you have in your hand, do it, and you'll see those rods take a long time to load. I like this crisp casting style, but the truth is, this 4-weight gives me that versatility to fish, to effectively tight line with size 16s earlier in the day, and then switch over to throwing big streamers if I want later in the day. The 4-weight has enough power to really turn things over. That's my preference. You can do it on a 5-weight, 6-weight. When I'm fishing from a boat, a lot of times I'll pick a 5-weight as my main tool for the day. So that's the Mono Rig. You've seen how it's built, seen the rig itself. In future videos, we're going to get into, all the different presentations, the head flip, speed lead, a lot of different things you can do because you're really, really in touch with the fly without the fly line in between. Subscribe, you'll find those future videos. Go to troutbitten.com and find streamers in the menu. And there are books worth of material on streamers there if you like that kind of stuff. If you like river fishing on a fly rod for trout, you'll like Troutbitten. So good luck and get after it and enjoy the day.